Oh, here we go. Here comes the 34th Indiana. These battle-hardened Hoosiers. Veterans of Island number 10 of fighting in Arkansas at Prairie Grove. Of the Vicksburg campaign at Port Gibson and Champions Hill. There when on July 4th, 1863, Vicksburg fell to General Grant. A great victory in the West. .34 falling up. Here comes some Confederate cavalry. Remember, the majority of the Confederates in this engagement were cavalrymen. What they would love to do is cut off the Federal troops as they try to escape. Don't let them get down to the Rio Grande. Don't let them get around the Gooseneck where they were trying to escape. That was their main road back to their garrison. They were about 7 miles, 8 miles away from their garrison. But the Confederates continue to move up. There's a squad that's firing away. Union troops falling back, reforming. 34th Indiana going forward. You can hear that drummer boy as he beats out the commands. Officers directly behind him. Non-commissioned officers keeping the ranks closed. Ready. Aim. They're firing. He hit a couple Confederates there. I saw one that was wounded. Confederate firing right back. Oh, that Confederate over there in his red shirt. He looks maybe like a Texas boy with that red shirt and those buckskin colored pants. He just bit the dust. Okay, Confederates reforming. Confederate cavalry waiting for their moment. They would love to come in on the flank of the 82nd or on the flank of the 34th Indiana. Either one of those. Union officers trying to keep their men up in line, keep their formation solid. Finally, the Confederate artillery responds. Confederates had 6 guns on this field, and the 7th if you include the French guns. Confederate cavalry to the north or to the northwest. In the summer of 1865, the men of the 34th Indiana and the men of the 62nd United States Colored Troops would be receiving their discharge, their musters out from the Army, and they could go home and continue their lives. Marry, have their children, begin their occupations. But this war and these engagements would always be the high point of their life. Points of conversation if they live to be 100 years old. Here come more Confederates. These must be Rip Ford's boys coming from Brownsville. You see that battle flag off in the distance? More reinforcements appearing here on the northeast, coming into the field to provide assistance to those Federals that are engaged. Look at that Texas flag out there. That's that Lone Star flag. That, incidentally, is as much a Confederate flag. It's a state flag today of Texas, but it's as much a Confederate flag in the 1860s as any other flag. Texas units always carried those. They carried that state banner with them. Whether they fought in Maryland, in Pennsylvania, on the fields of Virginia, fields of Tennessee and Kentucky are down through Georgia and the Carolinas. Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and on over obviously into their state of Texas. Now we've got some enfilading fire from the Confederate artillery and cavalry fire on the north. Union commander still sending his troops forward. Don't fall back. Keep pressing. Keep pressing. Press the issue. We see a few casualties out on the field, scattered about, both Union and Confederate. Okay. That looks impressive. Both of these battle lines look very impressive. You heard a little bit of the rebel yell over there. You still have Confederate cavalry to the north, poised, waiting for an assault, waiting for an attack. On the far right, the 62nd USCT very wary of what might happen. Now more reinforcements coming up for the Federals, still strengthening their lines, attempting to reinforce where soldiers have been wounded, their casualties, they've been killed, wounded. Now we got more Confederates, and the colonel is out there waving his gauntlets in the air. Come on, boys. Hold those lines. Push forward. Push forward. Confederates consolidating their lines, shoulder to shoulder. First rank, second rank. While the 82nd USCTs were using those infield muskets, and most of the Confederates are using infields as well, the 34th Indiana is carrying Springfield rifled muskets. Off to the far left, you see a squad of Zouaves in there, and they're very distinctive French-styled uniforms. What you witness is the ebb and flow of battle. You see to the south side of the field now, some artillery firing into the flank of the Union soldiers. Fortunately for those Union men, that artillery blast missed them. Now the engagement is hot and heavy. Remember, in this engagement, there were about 300 Confederates on the field, about 800 Union troops on the field. Confederates are all cavalrymen. In this case, we're looking at a few that are mounted and many dismounted. On the Union side, they're all infantry, with the exception of the 2nd Texas U.S. Now we've got those Confederate cavalrymen coming in. Oh, are we going to get a surrender here or not? Oh, one Union soldier just bit the dust. If they surrender, the butt end of their rifle should go up in the air. But we see some of them falling back. But there's a number of dead and wounded out there on the field, sprawled onto the field. We see Confederates off in the distance moving in for another flanking assault. Will they emerge from that tree line? Oh, we see the Federals falling back here. They realize what's occurring. It's hot and heavy, and they are flinging lead back and forth. You might remember when these